In this video, we're going to talk about function composition. This notation, f with the open dot, g of x, means f of g of x, which means that you're plugging in g of x into f. So this piece right here is always what you plug in. And this is always your skeleton, because that's what this is plugging into, the blank spaces of whatever you create here. And then of course you have g with the open dot of f, which just means that in this case you're plugging f into g. So for this one, again, this is what you're plugging in, and this is your skeleton. So we'll start off with an easy example here. We have f of x is 2x plus 2, and g of x is 2. Well, if you look here, we want f of g of x. Again, this is what you're plugging in, and this is your skeleton. So what you can do is just cross this out and put whatever g of x is. Since it was g of x, this is g of x, we know that's 2. So I'm just going to put a 2 here. So now I basically have f of 2. Well, you should remember that that means in the f function, wherever there's an x, you're going to draw a blank, plus 2. So there's my 2, blank, plus 2, and in that blank, I'm now putting the number 2. So now I have 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 2, which is 6. If we try another one, we have f of x equals x minus 5, and g of x is x plus 1. Let's say we look for f of g of x. So again, that means you're plugging in this g, and f is your skeleton. So if I want f of g of x, again, g of x is right here, which is x plus 1. So what I can do is cross this out and put x plus 1 in. So now I'm basically looking for x plus 1 in the f function. So I can ignore this g right now, and wherever f is, again, wherever there's an x, you put a blank, and then the minus 5, and now in that blank we're putting x plus 1. And then we simplify, we have x plus 1 minus 5, which is x minus 4. Try another one. Let's say we have f of x is 2x plus 5, and we want f of x. So I'm plugging the function into itself. So again, if this is what I'm plugging in, f of x, I know, is equal to 2x plus 5. So I'm going to cross this out and put 2x plus 5. So again, I'm basically having to plug in 2x plus 5 into f. So I write down my skeleton of f, which is a 2, and then there's an x there, so I'm going to draw a blank, plus 5, and now in that blank is 2x plus 5. And then I have to distribute that, so that gives me 4x plus 10 plus 5. If you simplify, you get 4x plus 15. Alright, we'll try one more. This one's the hardest one. Let's say we have f of x.
Marshall, you're needed in the library this time.
Say we have f of x equals negative 6x squared minus 11, and g of x is x plus 10. We are looking for f of g of x plus 1. So we got a couple things going on here. If I look at what's on the inside, I have g of x plus 1. I can't cross this out and put the x plus 10 there, because that's what g of x is. They want g of x plus 1. So the first thing I need to do is find g of x plus 1. So I'm going to set up my g function, which is x plus 10. So I got my blank there, plus 10. And I'm going to plug in x plus 1. That's going to be x plus 1 plus 10, which is x plus 11. Now that I have that, I can go back over here and cross this out and I know what's going to go there is now x plus 11. So now in the f function, I plug in x plus 11. So I now have f of x plus 11. So I'd look at my f, and I'm going to set it up that skeleton again. Got that negative 6 and then a blank squared minus 11. In that blank goes x plus 11. Now that that's squared, what I need to do is write out my equation, or my expression twice. So I have negative 6 times x plus 11 times x plus 11 minus 11. Then I can distribute this here and bring that negative 6 down, and this simplified gives me x squared plus 22x plus 121 minus 11, and then distribute that negative 6 is negative 6x squared minus 132x minus 726 minus 11. And then I'll combine my like terms again, so my final answer should be negative 6x squared minus 132x minus 737. So those are a couple examples of how to do function composition. Again, the important thing is to just realize which function is plugging into which, and to set up your skeleton with your blanks there so that you can plug in the correct thing.